1. Oh my good. What?
Sorry.
How did you guys get in here again?
What are you doing here?
What are you guys doing in here? You guys are crazy. We're just gonna get more coy every time we start this now, aren't we? It's gonna be really good.
You guys.
I just looked into the light on accident. Whoops.
Oh my
I can't
God.
see. Sorry guys, we're gonna be dealing with a blind animator today.
Blind Austin all day. That's it. He's blind.
Yep, that's what they call me,
Cannot
blind guy.
see anymore.
What up?
No
Gubby?
looking for him.
What about what's up, Hamza? How you doing? Good morning.
Hanzo?
Hamza.
Simple
Dan.
geometry.
Dan Santos. How's it going? What's poppin'?
What's happening, y'all?
What's up? We're doing a fun little activity today. Those are my least favorite words every time I would start a class or something.
Oh my God. Yeah, you just gave me PTSD.
Today.
I hated that.
Yep. We're doing a not fun non-activity today.
That's not better.
Well, shit. We're doing something cool and fun.
Coloring. Oh, wait.
We do kind of do that. Anyway, today, Noah and I are going to act as if we are not at this point in our motion careers and we're just starting it for the first time. And we're just going to see where that goes.
I don't even have a motion career. So.
Yeah, truly. Me neither. But we're just going to act as if we're just starting out and then just meander about in our thoughts and figure out what would we do in this situation, you know? How would we start today if we had to? But it's like that situation where you get to time travel. You get to go to the past, but you get to remember all the shit that you knew. So we get to be overpowered, but it's fine.
It's just like Back to the Future. In that there's
time traveling.
Old man, that's you.
Yep.
And
here I am. Hey guys.
Big fast car.
It's me. I'm Doc.
Time travel.
Have you
watched that, by the way?
I love DeLoreans. Yes, I saw it I saw the original Back to the Future. I think I might have seen the second one also, but I don't.
Did you?
That's one of those trilogies that I really just don't remember much of it, to be honest.
That's fair. Did you notice? I think it's in the first one. They go and I think it's the first time that they go back. I don't know if they go back more times. They run into a tree, and it's
and it's still
Twin Pine or something.
Uh-huh.
And then when they go back to the future, more credits. When they go back to the future, because they ran over that pine tree, you can look at the sign and it says it's called Lone Pine now, and it's not called Twin Pine. So
no.
Little attention. That's a little fun fact for you guys. Also, I haven't watched the movie.
That's a fun little nugget of information. The only thing I remember from the movie really is that scene where they use a hoverboard, of course. And also when they put the teeny tiny pizza in the fancy oven, and then suddenly it becomes a full-sized pizza.
Ooh.
Like magic, you know? Back then they said, what could the future be? Small food make big food. Genius.
They were so creative.
How creative.
Anyway, let's get into it.
What up, Ayub? He says, I don't know if this is the first time you've ever heard this, but I don't know why Noah looks like Neo. That's fair. Kind of got
lots of movie references.
You kind of got a Keanu Reeves without the beard thing going on.
Why, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Don't touch my dog. I'll kill a bunch of people.
Oh. Okay. Isn't that Liam Neeson?
Do you think Liam Neeson did that?
Well, that sounds like something that would happen in Taken, you know?
No, that's the...
I'll be honest,
see where you're going with that.
Only time I ever saw The Matrix was because Dom wouldn't turn the fucking TV down when he had to watch it for class, so I was sleeping and I would just get a scene or two every time loud gunshots would be happening at 3 a.m.
That reference was from John Wick.
Oh. No, never seen that.
Okay, one of them is about a dog, I think. Maybe more of them. I think it's just one, though.
That seems crazy.
I looked up Keanu Reeves movies, and Super Pets came up, so that will be my weekend.
Super Pets, John Wick. I don't know. I don't
Wait,
know.
also the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run.
I bet he was SpongeBob.
I can only hope.
What's up, Roy Boy Shaw? How you doing? What's poppin'? All right, it's Tuesday. We don't have motion careers, and we're starting from scratch. What do we do? What would we do? Let's just lay the groundwork.
I'm starting from not even knowing how to do motion design.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going that far.
Okay, well, I feel like that's fair because let's just lay the situation out.
Okay.
You're a person. We're that far, okay?
Okay.
You're a person. You just saw an advertisement or you saw a motion designer post something somewhere. You don't know that that's what it's called yet, but you have the gall to comment and say, wow, I really love this. What's this type of animation called? Or, wow, this is amazing. What is this? What is this called? And then somebody tells you, motion design.
Motion design, motion design, motion design.
And then it just rattles around in your head for a second. And then, I don't know. I would probably be like, motion design into Google and then be like, whoa, look at all this that's out there.
I do that, but into Yahoo, so I'm with you.
AOL probably has some good results as well.
Yeah, it looks like I didn't get anything, though. It just came up with top 10 economy tips. And, just now, the story that the queen died. That's all I got. What'd you get?
Perfect. Motion design.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Interesting. Okay. So after you've found out what motion design was,
I don't even know if I want to do it yet. I'm just sitting here enjoying looking at all of this work, you know?
I would as well, yeah.
And then, because I have no idea, like, what programs you use to make this, let alone where to start, but whatever. I am at least going back to, at the point where I started motion, I did at least have some fundamental design knowledge. That was helpful. I think if I were to do it again, I would certainly be in a much better position having had design than if I didn't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you would go about figuring out how to do both of those at once, learning how to animate and design at the same time. That sounds like a mess.
It is a quite the heroic task.
Tricky pickle.
Tricky pickle. You doing your warm-ups?
Yep. Tricky pickle. Tricky pickle.
Tammy took a tricky pickle.
I don't know. All right. So we know what motion design is at this point. We've at least seen generally what the OST stopped playing. My bad. We've at least generally seen what's out there. You know, we might not have come across some of the like cool studios yet, like Ravi or Ordinary Folk or Hobbs or Gunner or whoever, but we've at least seen some motion design somewhere. Okay.
Right.
And I'm making the grand decision. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do motion. I want to try this out. You know, I can do some design. So why not make it move? So I would just go on YouTube and be like, hey, anybody got a little tutorial series on how to make some cool motion design? And then you're like, what's this motion graphics thing? And then very quickly you realize it's the same thing. People are just calling it multiple names. Confusing.
I think, first off, one of the best tips, if I were to start over. Also, I would like my story to be that of going in the fucking wrong direction. But one of the best tips for your story is to join some sort of community and get into contact with someone who does it pretty early on. Lolo asked, so first learning design fundamentals would be efficient.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
I think that it is one of the best things you can do to learn design before you get into animation. Now, of course, me being the bad example that I am, I'm going to say that my little journey starts with me looking up motion design and then finding motion graphics and then probably immediately downloading What are those other programs that we bullied the other day?
All of them. You can just a general overview of non-Adobe.
Non-Adobe programs. That's what I would say. I think that, yeah, learning design first and getting in contact with someone who actually does it is super duper helpful. And that's coming from someone who was kind of taught the first bits of After Effects by a little Austin over here. And that was way more efficient than if I had just tried to completely figure it out on my own.
Sure.
And I used Austin and TipTut to field my questions and kind of get my sea legs under me. And I would want to do the same thing over again because that was efficient. And that was after I had already known design pretty well. And I think that is a pretty efficient way to take it. I mean, it took me about a year of not really doing it much to get to a place where I could make money with it and have a business in it. So I think that says volumes.
Agreed. It says a lot. Yeah, I think that's a better way to do it. Let's be more prescriptive. This is much harder than I thought it was going to be to live in this space of not knowing things when we know things. Yeah, no, I would like, tutorials and also finding friends in that space. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be like I need to find other motion designers that know nothing, little tiny babies like me. Those people that I like saw their posts or whatever that originally got me into motion design are probably the people that I would reach out to at this point, to be like, hey, can I learn? Like, I don't know, because I'm conflicted in saying this because I get a bunch of DMs that kind of sound like people just want me to learn it for them, and just like tell them everything they need to know, which some things you just don't know until you do it. But I feel like I'd be able to come across in a way of like hey, can we just talk? Like, I just have a couple questions about what this industry is. Like, what is your experience day to day? That sort of stuff,
Yeah, I think that one of the better things you could do is ask. It's not like can you learn it for me? Or can you give me all this, whatever. I would ask for a meeting and I would come prepared with questions. Like, what is your approach to motion design? What is your blah, 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 blah. When you have this kind of scene, like, how do you usually solve it? Or like, a lot of those questions that are not apparent off the bat, and not necessarily like technical questions, because technical stuff you can learn. You can have like your little peer study group. That's what tutorials are for. Like, you can figure all that stuff out. So I would get some sea legs under me, you know what I'm saying? Get familiar with it, and then I would go directly for the less obvious, the more
soft skills.
Yeah, kind of.
The beneath the surface bits of motion, not just how do I do this effect that you did.
They're not directly apparent. It's more like how they're thinking that I would be interested in, and how they're problem solving and how they're approaching marrying their designs and making it move, rather than where exactly they put the keyframes or what effects they used. And that's where I would take that. I would also join some sort of thing, like with other motion designers.
Wait a second. You're not talking about the Ravi Discord?
That sounds promising. What is that?
Well, if you just go ahead and click that link in the chat, you can find out. 2,500 members ish.
I would join a community of motion designers, and I would ask for help. I would make some friends. I would, maybe make a little group where we could have some accountability to each other in our learning journey. Hopefully some people around the same skill level as I. So I would, we'd all be on the same general skill level, and then maybe once a week I would organize it so that we all met up, talked about what we did that week, and like maybe sit in a VC for a while and just did motion design together and kind of talked about how we were viewing it and how we were growing and learning. I think that would be one of the most efficient things I could do, because literally just having people to sound stuff off of and talk to about these sort of things is one of the best ways to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You can create such an echo chamber up in your head about so many different things and get so discouraged with your own messaging towards yourself. I think just having other people involved, whether they be on the same skill level as you or not, is so imperative.
Agreed.
When trying to learn something completely new and daunting.
And I think equally important to make sure that there are people in your circle that are way better than you at what you're trying to do. Just like the Ravi Discord. People from all walks of life and all years of experience and such. Ting! That was the little sparkle on my tooth. Anyway. Okay, so we've got we're a good motion design learner at this point. We're a good motion design student, all right? We're watching our tutorials. We're joining a community, but more importantly, we're experimenting on our own. We're finding projects that we like, and we're trying to emulate their techniques on our own and be not necessarily just like, I need a tutorial to tell me exactly how to do this, but having the mindset of, okay, this person made this thing in this project. How do I pick that up? How do I reverse engineer this on my own with no direction? How do I make something that looks like this?
Made a great thing, but I don't know why I like it. Let me figure out what makes it work so well. What makes this motion design better than another piece of motion design, and really get into it.
Yes.
Soon figure out that the speed graph is the better one.
It is.
Hopefully happen across one of our streams or something.
Well, wouldn't that be crazy? Oh, be strange.
Pretty wild.
So okay, but that drive, that which can only be initiated by yourself, is incredibly important. To just continually practice on this sort of stuff. Doesn't matter if you can take clients and consider the work that you're doing for them practice. I don't care, but just make sure that you're consistently practicing on things.
Right.
Because
speaking of clients,
what? Oh, well. Question.
Go ahead.
How do we get those? How do we
transition from motion design learner to actually working in the field, and how do we know when is the right time to do that?
Well, hold on a second. You're telling me we have a community of people, a lot of which are better than us, who are already getting work. So they probably have some knowledge that they can shed on how they get projects and or bring me in on some projects that they're working on. And we're also practicing on making our own pieces, and we're being good and posting them into social media? What? Now that's crazy. And we're making sure that it's work that, one, people could actually use and purchase that would make sense for their business, and two, that we like making. That to me sounds like we're primed and ready to already basically have a whole portfolio made just off of the experiments we've been doing. And then with the connections that we've now made in our little motion friends, there's bound to be a project that pops up somewhere, right? Right?
Exactly. I'm writing stuff down because this is like a good little pipeline thing.
Okay. Now that is a very, very like word of mouth approach. Obviously, you're not super active in that decision making process of others coming to you for work. So maybe what you do once you've got a body of work, okay, let's say like maybe 3 to 4 pieces of work minimum. You've got some that are short form, some that are longer, like up to 60 seconds, maybe 90, whatever. But work that you're proud of and that you feel good about, right? But don't get me wrong, you're never going to feel perfect about it, so don't hesitate to still post it anyway, even if you don't think it's perfect. Just get it to a point where you'll feel it's passable, you know? Then at that point, put together an Adobe portfolio site. Easy peasy. It's already included in your Creative Cloud subscription if you're using After Effects anyway. And if you're not, use something free. But like, if you can, pick up some extra cash somewhere and get yourself a domain and the proper hosting so that somebody doesn't have to go to your super long ass Wix domain and see the Wix branding all over your website whenever they get into it. Anyway, and at that point, put those 4 pieces of work up there, put your photo on there, give yourself a little bio, add some personality, and then send out a, hey world, I'm here sort of message to every one of those studios and those people that you admired, whether it's a DM or an email or whatever. Don't spam it all at once, or your email provider will get really mad at you, speaking from experience. But, pace it out, but make sure that you don't just send that first message. You keep consistent contact with these businesses. Now, it's not going to just happen immediately for most people. You're looking at like consistently keeping yourself top of mind with them once every other month or so. Could take a year until you get some of the leads that you want, but at least someone will probably bite. And if you continue making that's the other important part. Wow, there's so many facets of this. You can't just decide, well, I have my portfolio now, guess I'm going to go 100% in on pitching myself. You still got to be making work at the same time. You can't just have your body of 4 pieces of work and then that's it. You got to keep going, keep moving, keep active on social media often.
Maybe they will not hire you for what you have now, but if you keep contact with them and continuously continuously be in front of them while you're also improving your skills and making better work, then eventually you're going to reach probably a threshold to where they're like, all right, now I'll work with you. But you have to continue to improve to get there.
At the end of the day, what a lot of people are selling is trust, And so you want to have as good of a first impression as possible, sure, but most of the time it is going to be that 3rd or 4th impression that you make on somebody that they're going to be able to say like, okay, I feel comfortable enough to put my money here, Especially if you're brand new to, like, you just appeared out of nowhere. People are going to have some questions, They don't know about your work experience with other people. They can't really ask around, so it's harder to justify necessarily making the risk of trying out a new motion designer, But I think that's why a lot of folks, and I mean us included, would probably just work with a studio or an agency to start with. Even if you're freelancing, you could go in-house if you wanted, but even if you're freelancing, they've already got the work. They're used to working with new freelancers and they're always looking for new talent. So you probably have a better chance pitching to studios and agencies than you do going to direct to brand off the bat.
It also kind of creates a better environment to learn how to sort of have those relationships and take feedback and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of used to the whole process. You can also ask them about the process. You can learn from the people you're working with. But if you were to yourself just jump into dealing with like a direct to brand client.
Direct to bland.
I know, right? Then I mean there could be a lot of things that you don't know. You could kind of mess that relationship up pretty quickly if it's like your first or second time.
Especially because a brand has a lot more to lose on bringing on one freelancer to do marketing for them than a studio does, because a studio probably has a bunch of other projects going on at the same time and multiple people, so you're just like one part of that machine, Whereas there's probably a lot more reliance on you if you're freelancing directly with a company. One thing I was gonna say,
yes,
that I absolutely would do. Now, I'd say fuck it to hourly rates and day rates. Hey freelancers, time to get spicy.
Oh boy. I
think day rates are crazy overinflated. I would have such a hard time selling myself. Like even with how quickly I worked, all right, if I was freelancing, right? If I'm doing like a 60-second video or something, and what? I've got our average like lower end day rate that we're seeing from people is like 400 a day or something like that. If I'm doing that for 2 weeks as an individual person, and that's like working blazingly fast to get storyboarding, script writing, all that stuff done, $400 a day is like $4,000, that's a solid amount of money, but that's like on the lower end, but for a lot of people that would probably take like a month. And as a freelancer, I would find it very, very hard. When I was freelancing, the most I was able to sell was like $3,500, $4,000 as an individual, given that was like 3 years ago. So we didn't have like the loops and all the other body of work to show or any of that. But I could not imagine trying to sell a video for 16 grand or something to, as an individual at this point. It just doesn't quite make as much sense to me. And I feel like I would get offers eventually to be doing longer videos, and at a certain point, the pricing just sounds insane. You know, you get freelancers that are doing like $800 a day or something, and then you're clearing like $60,000 as an individual on a long video. You know, if you're booked for like a month and a half, 2 months or something like that. I think that it is much better for the freelancer and for the business that you're working with, whether it be a studio or director and or whatever, to just do a flat rate and get 50% or 60% up front or whatever, and then the rest on delivery. Because first of all, you're not having to put all of your time towards this one project. You can manage your schedule a lot easier. You're not basically just sitting there on call for these companies whenever. You can lay out your schedule very clearly and be like, here is the price. This is what you get for it. There's no weirds, or there's less weird surprises. And when there is something that goes over what the original agreement was, you're just like, boom, change order. Here we go. It's not like adding days and things. Day rates are certainly better than hourly though, because holy shit, the faster you work, you make less money. No, thank you. That's stupid. And at a certain point, you can only raise your hourly so much, because eventually on paper, it's going to look fucking insane if you get really good at your job. You know, you're talking like $150 an hour. Like, that's one thing coming from a studio or an agency or something to a business, but a business sees that from an individual and they're gonna be like, am I hiring a lawyer? What's happening here? Like, what the fuck? So it's lots of weird games there, because, you know, it's not actually that much money. And if you're able to do it that fast, that makes sense. But I don't know. I'd rather be able to just be like, I'll take these hours to do it, but I'm just going to charge the flat rate, and then I can do it for however long I want on my own schedule, whatever. It gives a lot more freedom to the creative, I think. And on the business side, they know exactly what they're getting. They're not like sitting there hoping that you'll finish faster. I think there's so much pressure when you put your pay associated with some amount of time. Day rate, I know when we've worked with freelancers on day rates, we've had all sorts of problems where we've had people just completely not deliver on what we needed quality wise, or like didn't understand what the feedback was, or those sorts of things. That adds up really, really fast. Like, we've had to drop $6,000 to $8,000 before on content from people that we didn't even use at all in the final video, which is why we don't work with freelancers really anymore. It just did not work out like most times that we did it. But I would imagine that that's got to be a lot of pressure on the creative, because the whole time the business is just sitting there like, are you done yet? Where's the next thing? Because they know that if like they let you slack off or whatever, then you can just add on like a couple extra $1,000 to their bill instead. So I think flat rate just keeps everybody's peace of mind. And then if something goes wrong, or like they want to change up the requirements or whatever, you can just add a change order on top of that project. A lot easier than just being like, well, I don't know, maybe it would take 3 to 5 more days. We'll see. It's just more nebulous. I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
Flat rate for the win. We've tried like every pricing model, and that is like absolutely the best one that we've used so far. Anyway, that's my rant on day rates. Can you tell I don't like them? Huh? It's just really fucking expensive. Part of it, and when I say that, it's mostly US day rates that I think are just blown out of proportion.
I got a whole list. All right, so now you've started working with agencies, and then eventually you can kind of transition that into, you know, whatever niche in the industry you would like to occupy. You know, keep making cool shit and posting it, and more opportunities will arise.
Oh, one more note. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you want to do day rates, I think they can be a helpful way of determining your flat rate by estimating how many days you think it's going to take and then being like, okay, it'll take this many days, so multiply that, get the total amount, and then bill them for 50% of that upfront anyway. Like, just treat it like a flat rate. That's my last cent on my 2 cents.
Yeah, like you could have both of them going. You could be like, yo, this is my flat rate until this day, or like my day rate is blah, so 50% of this, then 50% of this when I deliver, and then any extra days that I need to work on it, this is my day rate.
Yeah.
Like you could do that. You know, you can make it work however you want to make it work. But, you know, essentially at this point, you are a working professional in the industry, and you can kind of just keep going up from here using the same steps of posting and making cool shit and improving and making connections and working on stuff. So, and I mean, unless there's other steps you can think of, I think we have a whole pipeline.
Such as?
Such as the pipeline?
Yeah. You said we have a whole pipeline.
We do have a whole pipeline. I have it written down.
I thought you were going to say what it was.
Oh, I was waiting for you to say yes or no to more steps.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll go through it and we'll see if we can find something, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right. First, we prioritize learning design. Second, we get interested. We learn the technical and get the basics down. Third, we reach out to people that inspires us and ask the real good questions, which can be kind of swapped around with making a group of peers to learn and work together, you know, getting involved in some sort of community and some sort of friendship with someone else who's also learning it. You know, keep practicing, analyze what makes motion design actually great, try and replicate that, and then post your work. Post your stuff. Post that mumbo jumbo.
That mambo jamba.
You know, maybe work with those other people that you're homies with. Maybe make something together. Once you have a solid little foundation here of what motion design is, you can do a little motion design. It's pretty darn cool. Make yourself a polished portfolio. Be able to present yourself in the industry. You're already posting your work, hopefully. Make yourself a little a flagstone. You exist. And then send out a, hey, I'm here and ready to work to people. And then keep that consistent contact, stay top of mind, and keep getting better and posting in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually you'll get some projects with agencies and creative businesses. A good place to start. Usually use a flat rate and a proper timeline. And then just keep improving and posting and making cool shit. That's the kind of pipeline that we came up with. If we were to start again and we wanted to be motion designers, that's the sort of steps we would take.
That would be it. And then you would be very rich and very successful. We're not yet.
Guaranteed.
But we're going to stay on that track. So
yeah.
we'll let you know how it goes.
Yes.
I think eventually, let's take, I guess the next road, which should interest some people anyway, is you freelance for a while and eventually you want to make it something a little bit bigger, and then you get into the studio side of things. I think we can hop on that, but also I want to make sure we answer some stuff in chat really quick.
Yeah.
Vito says, hey, oh, well, first of all, I saw one. Sorry, Vito, I'll get to yours in just a second. Jeremy said that he posted his coffee branding on Reddit and people are mean on there.
Yes, they are.
Truth. And then he said he posted it on r/logo design. Silly.
Ooh.
Well, you're silly for that. Shouldn't have done that one. You went to a place where all that they're excited about is just tearing logos to shreds.
Hating people. Yes.
Yeah, that's like the whole.
I think
idea.
the r/logo design is undercover, one of the most hateful places on the internet.
Oh, 100%.
They suck. They're so mean.
It's so much worse than like food critics or something. You know, it's just.
I'd rather have it ripped apart by Gordon Ramsay.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah, 100%. Because everyone will have an opinion on a logo, no matter who they are. It's whatever. I mean, that's why branding is a thing. You know, it's got to appeal to a lot of people, but at the same time, lots of people will just hate on everything, especially if it just looks at all modern because they're like, it's missing its character. I hate this like sleek minimalist stuff now. This isn't like the olden days. Blah blah
It's all
blah.
sans serif.
Blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Blah, blah,
but look
blah.
around though, because it's not. But anyway. All right. Vito says, hey guys, do you use 3D software for your 2D animation in your work, or is it all After Effects? It's all After Effects, except for when we have a scene or two where some 3D assets are needed, in which case SimCity uses Cinema 4D. Though Will is on the team now, and he does some After Effects 3D, but I don't know how much of that we will be doing.
Right.
Anyway, what up,
Dominic
Dominic?
says, hey guys.
That was the one I looked at
Love the
too.
show so far. Thank you.
Zaheen.
you.
Zaheen says, do you ever think of also doing character animation in the near future? No.
Only if those characters are real abstracted and basically
Extremely
just shapes.
abstract. But otherwise, no.
No.
Every project where we've done character animation, except for one where we got a character animator in on it who just made everything fantastic, was terrible. Was not a fun experience.
Right.
D Hills says, where to work stably if I aim to be a 3D motion designer. I don't have enough experience in 3D, but also I will say generally, you can work anywhere at this point. Just you follow the steps we just outlined, regardless if you're 3D or 2D or whatever, and you have a pretty good shot of making it work. Justin says, when talking about flat rates, I think it depends, because if you're not careful, companies can abuse your time with flat rates. If you don't properly set expectations early, an ad agency last year tried to do that to me.
Yeah, I would do
Mikey
a
Zappo
flat rate with a
says,
timeline.
SOW. That's the wonderful thing about flat rates. You get to just outline all that stuff and just be like, these are the deals of this is the term of the engagement. Here it is. Here's everything. We agree to this. Cool. And then they pay. I think that, like I said earlier with the day rates, I think there's just then unlimited pressure that business is going to put on a freelancer to try and reduce the time that they're working on this. Like, I think they're going to try and squeeze as much out of that time as possible every day, you know, if they're smart. Some companies just won't care, but I don't know. Daily Motion Show says, I learn every day to work with you guys. I am glad.
Right.
I'm glad for this. Dominic says, what's your opinion on kinetic type and that niche of motion community? In the studio I work at, most of the work is kinetic type.
I think it's cool.
I think
it
be
can
fun.
be really neat. I always really like type. I think one of the recs I have today can do some pretty cool type stuff. So check out that in a second.
It's actually gonna be like 10 minutes. So this guy can't tell time.
Time is relative. Don't at me.
Dude, I can just point at you. That's fun. I'm just pointing at you now. Anyway.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Lolo Blob says, good ideas. Thanks a lot for the streams. No prob. What up, Gordo? It depends really. Longer term productions, 3 months plus, generally ask for day rates where you might not necessarily be involved in all areas of the production.
Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes it is safer to go with that if you don't fully understand the scope of a project, so you can't really just give it a flat rate. And so you're like, all right, well, in this case, maybe I'll do a day rate for this, and then now that I understand this kind of project in the future, I'll better be able to like do a flat rate or something similar to that. But yeah, they make sense in areas of uncertainty if both of you are agreed upon it.
Did you see what Good Times HD said in chat?
Oh my fucking god! Looks like high school. Looks like high school. How do you know that reference?
Watch the story video if you don't understand that reference.
Wow.
BZOA.
That makes my day. Can I just say that made my day. Looks like high school.
I'm glad to see you, BZOA. It's been a hot minute. Why is Noah not in the office? He got COVID. He doesn't have COVID anymore, but now his stuff's just all at the house. So now I am the office man.
Yeah. Also, I'm like still feeling bad from it all. And so I, just in case I catch something else or caught something else, I'm not really going to be in the same room as Austin.
Yep.
I'm not really trying to cough into his face.
Thank goodness. Lolo says,
making it work.
Are you planning to learn more Cinema 4D or other 3D programs in the future? Either of us?
Not personally.
No. There are so many people that can do 3D better than we can at this point. It's just not worth the opportunity cost of having to learn that to get to a point where it would match the quality of the 2D that we can do, you know?
Yeah.
We can just bring people on the team that already know how to do that and will be better at it than we would be anyway.
Which is a hell of a lot more efficient.
Yep. I'd certainly rather do that. Barbara says, why is it so cheap to throw a party at a haunted house?
What do you think this one's for?
It's
what do you think the answer?
Some sort of pun with spooky or
scary.
But I don't know why.
Cheap thrills. Dream. No.
I can't think of the word that would make sense for a pun here.
Ghost. Oh, this one's hard.
I know. She's
it feels like a riddle.
She's really got us in a pickle.
Why is it so cheap to throw a party at a haunted house? Because it's abandoned property and
no one lives
you don't
there.
Have to rent it. Because all the ghosts
bring all the booze.
That's fucking great. I love that one.
Oh boy.
That could be taken in multiple ways.
It could,
but
yeah.
That's very funny. I love that.
Well, that's good. Thank you, Barbara.
The ghosts bring all the booze.
Vito says, I'm from
That's
Eastern
good.
Europe, and I've never really worked with Western clients from the US, etc. What is the best way to try to find some clients from there? Look up studios, motion design studios in the United States. Yeah. Also, hey, if people have a hard time finding studios and things, because I know that can be difficult for whatever reason, SEO is just not great or whatever, or you end up finding these like really cheap alternatives to the good stuff. Anyway, just go on any of the Instagram accounts or Behance accounts or whatever that like curate posts every week, you know, like Bucky Back or Good Moves TV or any of those, you know, that you'll be able to find so many studios and things that way. And that's a really easy way to get in touch with people.
It's true. You find like everyone, it feels like everyone in this community of motion designers is connected with each other. So if you just go through people's like following lists and like the other ways of connecting and people's tagged work and like those sorts of posting cool work accounts like Good Moves TV.
Yep.
Like you'll be able to essentially find all the different styles and something that really resonates with you and some studio that might be great to work with.
Like go look at who Jorge follows, you know? A lot of the like top motion designers don't really follow that many people. So if you sort through their following and look at who they follow, who's a motion designer, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, especially if you're like new to the industry and you're like, all right, well, who's good? And like also who's good and kind of not in the public eye. Like you'll find that some of the people who are in the public eye and are pretty great follow people who are not in the public eye and are still pretty darn great.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes they're also in our community. Check that out. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh my God, that's like the 5th call out we've done today. Hashtag Daily
I mean,
Motion
we're talking
Show,
about getting
review
started
Discord.
with motion design. It's a good.
It's a great place to start. There actually are a lot of people that have started in there. Like, I mean, Cindy didn't have a whole lot of motion experience when she started, but she just posted something that I think got featured on Monday's challenge last week.
That's very cool.
I think that's really fun.
Oh yeah, when you're also starting in motion design, like submit
fun challenges and stuff.
There's
all sort of cool community challenges.
It's always great practice, and sometimes you'll get featured, and that'll bring in a little boost, and that social proof will give more reason to work with you in the future. So
100%.
It's just a win-win at that point.
Good Times HD says, I watched the 4-hour stream, not too busy at work. Love how genuine you guys are. Thanks for the commitment to the streams and keep up the amazing work. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And also thank you for now. See, because that's an inside joke that we can all have now. Isn't that fun?
It's an inside joke. It's great.
It's just been me and Noah for years.
It has been years. Oh my God. Looks like high school.
Forlorn Creature says, how to learn design fundamentals on your own. Same way I would learn motion design on my own. Look at design, figure out what design you like, figure out why you like the design that you like, and then try and replicate some of those techniques and things and start practicing and building things in your own way. And then, because same with motion design, there are certainly some ways that you could like standardize what is good motion design. But generally it is subjective and personal taste. So you have to develop that for yourself. Consume
Great.
as much design as you can. That's one of the best ways.
I'm gonna add that to the little list.
Consume. Be a little
Great
greedy design consumer. Jaime Flores says, Instagram versus LinkedIn, which one do you think has more potential for generating leads by reaching out to people on each platform? If you're reaching out to people, definitely LinkedIn. But I think if you're reaching out for leads, you're probably looking at it from the wrong direction to begin with. People know when you're trying to sell to them. Don't try to sell to people. It's that simple. Be friends with people. Be yourself. Be a person. Be genuinely interested in what they're doing. And then if there's a fit and they need work from you, or they like the work you're doing, whatever, then
let it be their idea.
It has to be their idea. You can't force people to hire you. It's impossible. As much as people may try, it just doesn't work.
Right. You just have to get yourself and your work in front of them.
Yeah.
However you might do that.
Red Rum says, how should I start getting jobs? I signed up to Upwork, but it's so hard to get work being new. First step, don't go to a platform that has an insanely high amount of competition like Upwork or Fiverr. Reach out to people individually. Meet people, make connections. That's going to be the way to do it.
Or something.
Because again, you're not going to be able to get people to buy from you or want to work with you unless it's their idea. So give them reasons to have it be their idea by just being a fun person to talk to and those sorts of things. You know, it's really a lot more about the personality than it is necessarily the work sometimes. So I would say everything we've said already is how to start getting jobs. Justin says I have to start my work day, but I hope you all have a good day of animating. Good hanging out. You too, man.
Awesome. Glad says
no, get out. No, I think they're saying that. No, wait. I think they were saying that I'm glad that you got out.
What?
I think they were saying that I'm glad that you got out of the office.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rude.
That's my guess. JJB Sullivan says, how long have you been using After Effects for? I have been using After Effects for 4.5 years now.
That's a good question. I guess it's been something like 3.5 years for me. Yeah.
Nah, is that? Well, no, I guess because you did like as soon as we got to school. Yeah.
I started right back then, but like consistently, it's been closer to like 2.5 years. Like
probably the same for me. Because I didn't freelance at all in that like first year of college. I don't know how the fuck I did that. I was just like, nah,
you really just went
thousands of dollars on the table. I need to be focused on my classes. What the fuck?
I need to be focused on making silly paper wearables.
Man, there really are not a whole lot of things I'm really spiteful over, but that in particular, I would go back there and really give them a piece of my mind if given the chance.
Why I oughta give them a piece of my mind.
Good Times HD says Motion Design Awards is awesome. Maybe we'll do our own awards show. You don't know.
Ooh,
who's to say?
I would actually hold on.
Okay.
Can I just say I think that would be really fun because you know how we don't really love awards, right? Like these are kind of dumb. Why don't we just fucking make our own award?
Yeah.
And give those to the best work, because there's a lot of really underappreciated shit out there.
Oh yeah. Well, as we know, we're given like 5 recs every day. Yeah.
In a second. And like none of the great stuff, a lot of the great stuff just goes completely under the radar and just nobody fucking sees it because it doesn't get awards and it's not made by someone that's got a lot of followers or anything. And that's a crime. We should have some sort of award in the future. I would love to be able to give that to work without anyone having to submit. I think that's really fun.
And we'd really put on a show for it. Like we'd get some suits, we'd do our thing. It would be all like black tie. It'd be really fun.
That would be so fun.
We'll do that.
Oh my lord.
Let's do it. We'll do that sometime this year.
Cool.
I wish I knew how to pronounce that. I'm sorry I can't read Cyrillic. I have been trying to learn Russian on Duolingo, but I have not done it recently. Anyway, Hey guys, do you feel like you need sound design on your team, or do you already have one? We have a couple different sound designers that we've worked with in the past, but we have one sound design studio that we work with consistently, Ron Rocco Audio. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Sebastian. Very cool.
Vito says, Have you ever thought about doing some funny roasting of other works? I've seen that on Twitter. That was really fun. I could volunteer. I have a 3-minute video, which is a mix mostly of your projects. Like Hell's Kitchen. That's funny. We could have a segment on the show where because we give Rex and then we could also roast, but it would have to be people who submitted their work to get roasted, because otherwise I just don't feel good about doing that. You know, so we can put together a form or something that we can put in the description at some point for that. I think that'd be a fun segment to do in addition to the Rex. Oh, good to see you here, Forlorn Creature. Join the Ravi Discord. There's a lot of people happy to help. Yup.
Yes.
Do what the man says. Join the Ravi Discord.
Factoids right there, my dog.
I love that we're so interested in just like promoting it, despite we get like no monetary gain from it.
We don't really get.
There's nothing that we get from it. It's just cool to have like everybody together. I don't know.
But darn, is it just awesome to see everyone talking to each other, working together. It's just fun,
especially now that it's just like so much more active than it used to be. It's like one of the most active Discord servers that I've ever been in. That's like having consistent conversation. I swear, this sounds scripted. It's not. This is just unfettered thought.
Also, it's a good way to get our attention. You can add us in there and we'll respond. So
true, we are in there, and Olgerd makes a meme after every single Daily Motion show. And
posted in the general. Pretty
chat. Great.
It's so good.
Yesterday he made me a commie. So
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what cool stuff he did today. Oh my god. How he cyberbullied.
We haven't really done anything interesting today. We haven't really moved all that much.
That's true.
We're really giving him a challenge today. I'm not gonna move. Okay. Hello, Blob says, do you play games and get inspired by them, or where do you get inspired from generally?
Lots of other motion design. I think. Well, I was actually watching a creative director talk about some stuff the other week, and he was talking about like good, and we can like have a whole segment on this eventually, but good mood boards don't include work to be copied. They include things that are like the right vibes, but not other people's work, if that makes sense. Like rather than including branding that is similar to what you want to do, they'll include, like, let's say we wanted to go with a more rustic feel. They'll include they'll include pictures that have the right vibe. They'll include like something of like clay stone wall or like some, and it kind of forces you to think outside of how you would normally think, and think outside of just, oh, I like this, I'm going to take these elements directly one-to-one from this other work. And I think that was a really interesting way about going about it. That is to say, you can get inspired from pretty much anywhere, and sometimes it's good to force yourself to get inspired from things that aren't necessarily one-to-one what you're working on.
Agreed. I mean, I would also say that Noah and I are on a bit of a different journey than we expected to be on recently as the team's been growing and stuff. I mean, you and I talked about that the other night. I don't really find myself, aside from this show now, I'm glad that we're doing the Rex, because otherwise I'm really not consuming that much motion design these days. And I think a lot of it is because Noah and I are mostly getting excited and just focused on like the business, and so we're getting inspired in that way. Like it's less about like the actual craft for us at the moment. It's much more just like, how can we make like the business interesting? Like what are we doing? Like what fun things can we get up to today? What fun clients can we work with? Like that sort of stuff. And I mean, other than the Rex that we're doing for this, like truly I don't have an answer for the inspiration question. I think maybe I just got more conditioned after doing a loop every week last year, but it's kind of like an echo chamber in here a little bit in some ways, which can be good and can be bad. I try to expose myself to enough new things to where I'm not just like making the same thing over and over again, but a lot of it just feels like second nature and just kind of intuition at this point. So I don't know. I just don't really have like a craving or need for inspiration as much these days. I just kind of do the thing. I just like execute when we need to animate or design stuff.
I think that as you get a better idea of what is good motion and good design, you can get more inspired by things that are less related to what you're doing in the first place.
We get more inspired from just whenever I think that's really all it is. It, like the motion itself and the actual design, we don't really need much inspiration for, but where it comes from, like where the ideation is, we just feed off of each other most of the time, or the team, and we all just get in our like motion scripting session or whatever, and that's where the inspiration happens. It's just all of us feeding off of each other, more than necessarily taking in like a bunch of other references and things these days. Though that was absolutely the case like a year ago. We would be like, okay, here's like a list of 12 different references. We need to figure out how to bring this part from this thing and this part from this video and this style from this thing into like crafting all one video. But at this point, we're just like, nah, we make good stuff. we know how to make a good thing for this. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Which is why an hourly rate would suck, because we're way too fast now for it to make any sense.
Absolutely zoom in.
We'd have to have like a $300 an hour rate or something, probably, to make it worth it. I don't know.
Ugh, yikes.
Probably more. Probably end up
Definitely
being closer to
more.
like 500 to 1,000. But
Gas says, hey guys, I'm not sure if it's just me or not, but when I do work with Western clients, after they know that I am Asian, they offer lower rates despite being able to do stuff like everybody else. That's shitty. That's shitty of them.
Messed up. I made a post about this the other day, and I was surprised how many people had similar experiences. I think there is a big reckoning coming. All right. I think that the U.S. market has gotten way overinflated, especially on the freelancer side. Lots of folks, like, I feel like the average day rate in Western markets is going to crawl back down to like $550 to $600 a day or something. But it's been up at like $700 to $1,200, which I know is a big range, but it's been real expensive for the past couple of years. And then everybody else in the world has had like much lower rates because lots of people are just going after that talent. But with the shift to remote work, there are so many people that know now that they can get really, really good talent from all over the world, ourselves included. I don't even think we worked with a single American freelancer any of the time we've hired freelancers.
I don't think so.
I don't think we did. And what I think is going to happen is US and Western rates are going to slow, but all of the other rates are going to rise up. And eventually we'll have this general average that is just like global freelancing, you know? Because I think most of that burden should be on the studios. I think it is entirely fucked up that studios will do that sort of thing. And not just, to me, good motion is good motion, you know? If you're not an asshole to work with and your stuff is great, I'm going to pay you the same thing I'd pay anybody, you know? Like when we brought Sam on, rates in Morocco are not high at all, but it was never a thought in our mind that we were going to pay him any less than Mseti or anything, despite Mseti living in the US, you know?
Right.
It's so stupid to me.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, just have your rate outright. Just there it is.
Yep.
Right off the bat. That way they can't really offer you less.
Don't waver on that. Be like, here it is. That is it.
This is it.
Or give them a flat rate and give them a whole package, and then it's just like, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jamie says, oh, how many? Oh, right. My bad. Forgot about that.
Jamie.
First thing would be funny, but it could be a fun way to provide a constructive criticism. I agree. That could be really fun.
I can see how it could go. Like, we could have things that we call out often where it's like, is that linear easing? And then we pull up, like, there's some like graphic that comes up on the screen. It's like linear easing alert with some like flashing siren or something. And there's another one for like when people don't have things properly aligned on their points or something. Or there's like some weird flickering thing, or there's like some error or whatever. Like there's all sorts of little things, and I can just be like, is that what I think it is? And just, you know, that sort of vibe I think could be fun with some very like genuine constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But well, on that note, I think it's time for Rex. I think it's time for
already been
Rex
60
of the
minutes.
day.
We gotta get into Rex, my guy.
I know.
You go first. I don't have mine pulled up yet.
Here I go. You guys ready for my Rex? Here we are. Look at my first Rec. It's a cat, but it's a line, and it's got a ball. How does he do it? I don't know. Really cool path animation, or it's cell. I don't know, but I like it. It's fun. There's like It's super minimalist, but there's just so much expression in like a very limited amount of information here. I like it a lot. Shout out to, why do I pick people with names I don't know how to pronounce beforehand?
Ooh,
Look Vugs. That's what we're going with.
Cool.
Shouts out. Okay, that's one of mine. I have two more.
Oh my god.
Next one is Reader, who I believe is in the community as well. And I would play the sound, but I believe it is copyright. So I'm going to keep that off. And I also can't turn it down. But anyway, fun little like splishy splashy eyeball. It's just real smooth and chewy motion. I love it. And of course, you know, I love me some good gradients and such. Very, very fun. Having a good time. I saw Noah already liked this. I was kind of hoping that it was one of his recs, but he just didn't put it in our show chat. So I was going to get to claim it.
Yep.
To plant my flag.
You know, I want to save some things for you. I don't want to take them all.
Well, I got 3 today.
Because
so
I know that I have just more of a backlog than you. So I thought I'd be generous.
Fair.
Let you have some.
Austin Curzon said, I love my cats like I like my lines. Animated. All right. Marco is my third rec of the day. Marco Milosevic. Posted this 53 minutes ago. Banger. Fun little type animation. All the letters just kind of flop out. It's a good time. It's a good time we have here on the show. And hey, we can actually say that now and mean it because we're on the show.
Oh my god, we are on the show.
We're on the show. Those are, see,
what's your
look,
other
I
one?
commented.
Hold on, I haven't seen your other one.
What? These are the 3?
Shared on Discord.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
well,
I guess it'll catch up in a second.
Yeah, you'd probably just have to watch back because I think my Discord's on my monitor that I'm sharing. But anyway, yeah, I put definitely one of my recs for the day, and he said, "Thanks, Austin. Glad you like it." I'm like, "Yep." I'm gonna be commenting this everywhere that I choose one now. It's happening. Also,
I like that.
If you want to have your work considered for a rec on the Daily Motion Show, use hashtag Daily Motion Show in your social posts, or tag me, Noah, or Ravi, or whatever. Tag one of us, we'll find it. But if we like it, we'll put it on the show. Please help. We need more recs. We're gonna run out eventually. There can't possibly be enough motion design to have 5 recs every single day. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway,
There's 6 today even.
Thank you. Those are my recs. Over to Noah in the weather room.
That's right. And I'm gonna do the little
There he
share.
is. He's in the weather room.
All right, there it is.
Oh, it's this one. This one. I like this one.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hold on. I'm watching your rec real quick.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a fun
That's
one.
really cool. Hey, that's a really fun one. I've never seen that before. Good stuff. All right. So we got 3 of them.
Okay.
And
Flex.
they're all okay, flex. They're all fantastic. This one is made by a very talented fellow. Sir, oh boy, Roman, whatever his last name is.
Romain
Lubersanes.
Luberson?
Who knows? He's
Roma
a great
Luberson?
animator. He's got lots of great work. Maybe I'll rec another one of his things another day. Check out his Instagram. Anyway.
Sebastian says share links. Don't worry. We'll put them all in chat at the end of the stream.
Yeah, we will. But check this out. In fact, I want to see that first bit again. Love it.
I thought this was so cool when it came out.
It's so cool.
The sound design is so nice.
I love it.
So fun.
I love it.
Those
It's
shots
got
where
so
you
much
get
tension.
it's just the perspective and the sound is
Oh my god.
Ugh.
It's such great stuff. The next one is for a slightly famous lamp, and I just think it's a great little product thing.
a famous lamp. I see. Ooh, liquid. Oh, this one, yes. Cool lamp.
It's a cool lamp. It's
50
cool
years
video.
of lamp.
50 years of lamp.
What a delight.
The final one.
You nope, nothing? Okay, that's fine.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said what a delight. Yeah. Anyway.
Good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
The final one is a video. I don't know why this scratches a special itch in my brain by Rich Projects. Check him out. He's great
AKA Riccardo Agostinelli.
Yeah. He makes some great stuff. But this specific one scratches a special spot in my brain. I just really like it. Its blend of different elements is just wonderful. So I'm going to play it. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just the way it blends it. It's nothing super like specifically complex, but it's just it feels very
fast
cohesive
and impactful,
and delicious.
You know, it doesn't let you breathe. That's
doesn't really let you breathe, and I like that. Lots of really great, like almost provocative footage. Not necessarily like a sexy provocative, but like
it's
just a visually like. Provocative gives people something to think about. I like it. I like it a bunch.
Wonderful.
Any Hoosers? Those are
Rex
now for the day.
Get the hell out of here. We gotta go. We'll see you tomorrow.
We're gonna put the links in chat. We'll see you tomorrow. Yes. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. No wait.
Bye.
See ya. Bye, chat.